But tonight they look anything but the #1 team in the nation. Fielded at the 4-yard line and a gap to the 25-yard line, and that's where Colt McCoy is. We show you the Southwest Airlines playbook. First snap of the game, folks. First offensive play was a safety, and they just took it from there.
I think it set the tone. Texas Tech controlled the line of scrimmage defensively. They've been chasing Colt McCoy around. Texas hasn't been able to run the ball consistently. And on the other side, Texas Tech has been able to run. They have been able to protect Graham Harrell. And even when they've gotten pressure on Harrell, he's found his receivers downfield. Complete domination in that first half by the Red Raiders.
Stopped again by this Raider defense. Just how good has this defense been here tonight against the Texas offense? Well, let's compare what's going on with what they've accomplished in your Pacific Life game summary throughout the season. Scoring 45 points a game, tonight only 6. Rushing for almost 200 yards, tonight only 31. Passing for 300, tonight only 68. Third down, 59% on the year, tonight only 1 of 7. Whitaker is going to see some action here as they snap it off to Kirkendall, and that appears to be a Horn first down.
You look at those numbers and you think, how has Texas Tech been able to come up with some kind of magic formula to be able to stop Colt McCoy? We touched on it the entire broadcast. They've gotten pressure with their front 4. It's allowed them to keep 7 defenders in space to defend Colt McCoy's receivers.
McCoy keeps it, and he's going to get ripped down by Whitlock.
When you dominate the line of scrimmage, you negate playmakers, and that's what they've been able to do. Whitlock this time gets penetration. McCoy comes off of the play fake to Whitaker. You're not supposed to see a defensive tackle when you come off of a play fake. You're trying to get to the outside. The last thing you're thinking about is Whitlock at 290 pounds getting by your offensive guard.
2nd and 12. They drop it in now to Shipley, trying to set him loose on the screen. Whitlock again making a stop. There is one story I want to update everybody on. Throughout the week in Austin, number 6 Quan Cosby wore a green jersey. That means when you work for Mack Brown and you're in green, that means you're injured. So all week long he wore the green in Austin. And that hurts them here tonight if he's not at full strength. 3rd down and 7. Under pressure again, drops it off, incomplete. That was Dixon. And McCoy taking a licking here tonight at the hands of the Red Raiders.
It's pretty good pass protection, but look at the receivers. However many receivers you can see, try to find an open receiver. There's nobody open. Everybody is covered by Texas Tech, and eventually the Raiders get to Colt McCoy because he has nobody to throw to. And again, it's the big fella Whitlock who finishes the deal and comes right on top of Colt McCoy.
Tucker back to punt. And running rugby punt and putting it on the ground. Eric Morris lets it roll. It's going to be downed. He was in the end zone with his hand on it, though. But they're going to mark it right there.
It's where the football is.
Yep. The NFL, they have a different
deal. It's a different deal.
Let's take a look at it now. This is a 61-yard punt. Williams has downed it right there. This ESPN telecast available in high definition on ABC HD. Well, the Red Raiders are backed up to their own 1-yard line. But remember now, in the first quarter, they had a 96-yard drive. And Colt McCoy has been taking a licking. Woods slips out for a couple of yards, and let's go back and look at this.
We talked about how they got pressure on him, and if you look closely as he steps up, Whitlock comes up and underneath with all of his weight, comes right on the chin of Colt McCoy. Colt McCoy walked off to the sideline, but since he's been on the sideline, he's been a bit dazed, spitting blood. Trainers checking him out.
2nd down and 8 for the Raiders. Woods trying to sweep left, and this will put it 3rd and short.
Big time play that time by Bobineau. Able to get through there and get a hand on Woods to slow him down. But this is where Texas Tech, Brent, had so much success in the first half. They were 5 of 8 on 3rd down situations. We'll see if they start this second half with similar success. A lot of times he was able to break to the outside and buy time and eventually find open receivers.
Harrell's been sacked only 1 time tonight. 3rd down and 3. Keeping on the ground short. And it's going to be 3 and done on this drive, and that could set up the Horns. McElroy makes the play defensively.
Brent, one of the first times we've seen the entire football game, the Texas defensive front taking control, and that's why Will Muschamp is fired up. That's a great way for him and his side of the football to start the second half, control things up front, and negate any kind of running lane at all for Woods.
That's the first 3 and out of this game for Texas Tech. LaCour. And with Cosby injured, Shipley fields it at the 45. This is going to be great field position for the Horns. He's got an alley. There is a penalty flag down. As he goes into the end zone, there is a flag at the 30-yard line.
There was a questionable block there, Brent, and I didn't know if Texas's player got his head on the right side of the shoulder or not. It was close.
There is no foul for illegal block in the back. The action is legal.
Touchdown, Shipley. A 45-yard punt return.
And just like in Dallas a few weeks ago against the Oklahoma Sooners, Shipley comes up with a huge return, and this is the block that I thought was a bit of a gray area, and I thought that's where the flag might have been, but they picked it up and said no foul. And once he got to the outside, of course, with his quickness, he gets to the outside and scores a touchdown. But Jordan Shipley, the leader, steps up and makes a huge play for the Longhorns.
Now Lawrence on to attempt the extra point. Remember, way back in the early going in this game, Shipley dropped what might have been a touchdown pass. But this time, he takes the punt in. Lawrence tacks on the extra point, and it's 22-13. The stage is set in Lubbock. You are watching Saturday Night Football on ABC.
Saturday Night Football on ABC. Brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Low fares, no hidden fees. Verizon Wireless. And introducing the 2009 Cadillac Escalade Hybrid.
Ever see a coach's office like that, folks? It's filled with pirate paraphernalia. That's right. Mike Leach, he loves Bartholomew Roberts, Calico Jack Rackham, Henry Every, and everybody's favorite pirate, Blackbeard.
Looks a lot like Mac Brown's office in Austin, right?
That pirate over there, he'll talk to you, too, if you go up there and he's turned on now. So the special team gives Texas a huge lift with this punt return by Shipley for a touchdown.
When we go back to that game, remember, Oklahoma had a lead and started to take control of this football game, and just when it looked like Oklahoma might pull away, who else? Jordan Shipley comes up with a 96-yard kickoff return for a touchdown that put the Horns back in that football game and changed the momentum completely around. Fast forward 3 weeks later, now in Lubbock, can't get anything going. On the road, you're down 22-6. Who comes up with a big play again? Jordan Shipley.
Now, big series for Graham Harrell. Last one was 3 and out and set up that punt return for a touchdown. The Horns will be playing with some fresh emotion now. On first down, he puts it in Morris's hands.
Shipley makes the return here. I think a lot of people are going to be talking about that block in the middle of the field by the freshman Earl Thomas. Initially, you see the flag coming in. And of course, they picked it up. I like what Mike Leach did on that first play, Brent. They ran 3 straight times on that 3 and out. This time they come back, put the football back into the hands of Graham Harrell, and try to find their receivers in space.
Batch is the running back. Harrell under center will give it to him. And he bangs straight ahead for the first down. McElroy making the stop. McElroy made a big stop on that 3rd down to force that punt. So number 38 came up big, and a little bit slow to get up there is Mr. Carter.
Something to keep in mind as this game moves forward. We've talked a lot tonight about Texas Tech controlling the line of scrimmage on both sides. It'll be interesting to see which team is in better shape. Does fatigue start to set in for either side of the ball, especially up front for Texas Tech or Texas?
Harrell down the middle, and he's got Crabtree. Crabtree finds another hole, and he's having a good night against him as Gideon makes the play.
They clear the receiver, some of the receivers on the inside clear it out, and then you know that Michael Crabtree is going to come right over the middle of that defense. The linebackers are occupied to the outside, opening up a huge window for Crabtree.
That's Arakpo who is down, the All-American defensive end for the Horns. They can ill afford to be without him very long. He's down at the 22-yard line.
You hate to see that. He means as much to the Longhorn defense as Colt McCoy does to the Longhorn offense as far as playmaking ability and leadership.
They seem to be working on that left leg. Let's see what he
looked like.
Hyperextended it a little bit is what it looked like, and he grasped at it right away. There was a look of concern there. This is one of his true warriors. He added a little boxing to his arsenal to work on giving him some hand speed. Puts up a ton of weight in the weight room, and it's nice to see him walk off here, Herbie, putting a little bit of weight on that, you know?
Yes, it is.
A little gimpy. So remember Cosby, and Lisa sending up word that it's doubtful that Cosby will be able to come back for the offense, and now we'll have to keep an eye on Arakpo. First down and 10. So Henry Melton, who was a running back for several years, one of the defensive ends, they throw a little bit high to Crabtree. Now talk tonight about the big receivers that they've been in the arena. Macklin for Missouri, they held him to 8 catches, 66 yards. Des Bryant a week ago in Austin, 6 for 74. Tonight already, Crabtree has as many catches as Macklin and more yards.
Who would you take of those three?
Michael Crabtree.
I'm with you.
But you've got to, take a deep bow to Macklin's speed. Macklin has better top-end speed than Crabtree has. Second down and 10. Quick strike on the outside. That's Leong again. Now, we've talked about the second half, all right? Outscored opponents 164 to 80, all right? And tonight, trailing at the half for only the second time this season. So they have been one of the better second half teams in college football this year. Here's your third down. Muschamp's got heat. Miller's on him. And that's short of a first down, incomplete. They're forced to punt. Muschamp's defense has come alive here in the second half.
Coming alive up front, and even with Arakpo down, the leadership has to be now stepped up by Roy Miller, 99, and that's exactly what he's able to provide, is stepping up and going right by Brandon Carter. It's a one-on-one battle. Get him into the inside move, and then uses the speed to the outside. And Graham Harrell, one of the few times we've seen him have to get rid of the football.
So the Riverboat Gamblers at it again. 4th down and 3. No sign of a punter this time. Let's see if they're trying to draw him off again here. Looks like that's what they were trying to do, and he'll come on over. Give him 5 more yards for the punter. LaCour trots back out.
Second time, Brent, you touched on it. Texas's defense, the adjustments, and I don't know if it's huge adjustments. I think it's the intensity that's changed on the Texas defensive line. I think they're calling a lot of the same schemes. They're just now getting after Graham Harrell. They're winning on 3rd down.
Shipley is back deep again. They went after this punt, and I believe they got a piece of it. It's going to roll down just inside the 20-yard line regardless, but enormous heat applied by Williams. Take a look and see if they didn't get a piece. Yes, he did. Timeout. Tough hombre. Colt McCoy. Never been a better named quarterback. Austin, 9 of 18. A year ago, he was 21 of 30 for 268 with 4 touchdowns against Texas Tech. Having a tougher go here tonight. Shipley, Collins, and Buckner are the wideouts. Cosby still sitting out. Juggled out of bounds. No question. Collins was juggling as it goes out of bounds. Let's check in with Lisa down below.
Well, Brent, not good news for the Texas Longhorns. Their leader on defense, Brian Arakpo, they're calling it a left knee injury. He will not return. Brent?
No, that's tough.
Yep.
I mean, you feel for that young man right there. He's one of the best in the game. Let's hope it is not serious. 2nd down and 10. And the whistle just prior to the snap. And that's
prior
illegal
to the snap. False start offense. Number 63. 5-yard penalty. Still 2nd down.
It's Michael Huey who has moved into that offensive line. He gets a lot of snaps. Kyle Hicks, Huey, Chris Hall, Charlie Tanner, and Ulatoski. Harrell watching from the Red Raider sideline.
Let's keep watching the battle up front where Texas Tech dominated in that first half.
On 2nd and 15, the line gives him time. Here's Shipley.
A late flag come in the backfield, and Texas Tech clapping. You assume that would be a hold.
Holding. Offense number 74. Half the distance to the goal. Repeat 2nd down.
Ulatoski's had his hands full.
To our right, the left of the offensive line, just gets beat to the inside, and then he was already down. Richard Jones was already down in his hands and knees, and then Ulatoski came on top of him, and that's when the late flag came in. Jones had no chance of getting to McCoy there.
Steps up, intercepted, picked off by Charbonnet, and Charbonnet scores. Williams continues to be perfect as the Red Raiders' new kicker.
Charbonnet is right here. He's going to sink in coverage and then retreat. By retreating, I think he was able to get into the lane, and I think Colt McCoy expected him to fall into the flat. Charbonnet comes up with his 5th interception. When he makes it, he knows to get to the end zone. And how about Texas Tech? An opportunistic defense, 15 interceptions on the year. They're 3rd in the nation, so they get their chances, they capitalize.
It's November, folks. Here comes BCS chaos. Just when you think you got it figured out, the ghosts appear. 29-13. Still plenty of time now for the Horns, but they have been under heavy pressure here tonight. Their lone touchdown is a punt return. They do not have an offensive drive for a score. They had to settle for a couple of field goals if you weren't with us in the first half. This game is reverberating from Gainesville to Tuscaloosa to State College, all around the country now. And the chaos that began last year in November. You can take a look at all of the things that unfolded. Just when you think you've seen it all, huh, Kurt?
And you know it's going to happen. You just don't know when and where. It happens every year. But you just made a point about this one's far from over. Still 7.5 minutes to go. But if it's going to turn, Colt McCoy's leadership and that offensive line better start blocking people, because Texas Tech is coming after number 12 right here.
Play action gave him time, and he overthrew his receiver. 2nd down and 10. Of course, near the end of the game, we'll select a Chevrolet player of the game from each team, and Chevrolet will make a $1,000 contribution to each university's general scholarship fund.
Big challenge for Colt McCoy in Texas right now is not trying to get it all back right away. They've got to stick with their plan and not press and not force the issue, or that plays right into the hands of Texas Tech and their defense.
4 straight incompletions, and so they stay on the ground this time with Fozzie Whitaker. This is some fired-up group that Ruffin McNeil has put on the field defensively for the Red Raiders here tonight. There's Ruffin right there. Took over, remember, with 9 games remaining, and he was the defensive coordinator down the stretch.
Got a lot of energy. He said he streamlined the defense. He wanted the guys to play fast, have fun, be aggressive. They're doing that tonight.
They settle back into a 3-man rush. They have changed that front all night. Complete for the first down. He snaps off a strong throw that time to Malcolm Williams. Malcolm's been a good special teams player tonight, too.
Malcolm Williams is going to have to step up along with Brandon Collins. Kirkendall, just because of the injury to Cosby, he gets time, but he gets hit again. And those hits take a toll on any quarterback, including Colt McCoy. Williams with a nice catch there.
There's a pitch to Whitaker. Now to the 38-yard line.
Whitaker could be a good addition here late in this game because of his quickness. Coming out of camp back in August, they felt he was the guy. But he's battled through some knee injuries. He is now healthy. He's had a great week of practice. And on this AstroTurf, because of his speed, he gives them a home run threat in the backfield.
First down. Buckner.
This is where the poise of this Texas team, and of course the quarterback Colt McCoy, are big time tested. We talked all week about this being the end of a 4-week run of Oklahoma and Missouri and Oklahoma State. And when they have enough gas left in the tank to go to Lubbock, and deal with Texas Tech, probably the toughest game of the 4.
On first down, Shipley again picking up about 11 yards on that play and out of bounds. Mack tried to portray it to his players as the first of another cycle, not the last of the last cycle. But you know, physically, it has to take its toll. Let's just consider the fact that Cosby is watching from the side, not playing for Mack. Now he's lost Orakpo for the night, and this is worn away on the Horns. And a timeout, the first of the half, called here by Texas Tech. And of course, and we take a look at our quarterback comparison, our 2 Heisman Trophy candidates, and
it's not a misprint.
No, that's exactly what's happened here tonight.
What's happened is Texas Tech, which has really shocked me, Brent, is by winning the battle up front with their defensive line against Texas's offensive line, they've kept 2 safeties at about 15 yards. And when defenses do that, a good offense will run the football into that look. But because they're losing the battle up front, Texas Tech is kind of having it both ways. They're controlling things and also protecting themselves against any big plays in the pass game. So Texas has either had to run the ball or try to just nickel and dime this Texas Tech defense down the field, and they've not been able to execute well enough to move the ball consistently down the field. Give all the credit to the front of this Texas Tech defense.
Play fake by McCoy, and he's going to be sacked again. That is the 4th sack of the night. Brandon Williams brings him down. That's his 2nd.
Just got done talking about what's happening. I mean, this isn't an elaborate blitz scheme. It's 4 guys just going right by the offensive linemen of Texas. Desire, hunger. Texas Tech wants this football game, and so far this entire night, they're showing it with the way this defense is playing.
Now they start that action to the right and bring Whitaker back the other side. You know, the one player, and they've been waiting for him because he's a JC guy, is Dixon. And Dixon is causing a lot of trouble down there as McNeil continues to rotate in defensive linemen.
They're staying fresh. Brent, you talked about the importance of that. Ruffin McNeil telling us that Dixon, 7 sacks coming into the night, has power and quickness. Brandon Williams, 8 sacks coming into the night. Great tandem, and they're keeping fresh because they're constantly coming on and off the field.
3rd and 8. Incomplete. And it will be 4th down coming up for the Horns.
That is a long throw and a tough throw for Colt McCoy.
I would think that Mack is thinking about going here. He's at the 42-yard line. The problem is if you fail, giving this offense a short field. But Mack's thinking down 16. I got to go here.
Shipley's in the slot right here, Brent. See if they try to get him the football.
A quick kick, the 2nd of the year by McCoy. The 2nd time he's done it. And there is a penalty flag down at the 41-yard line.
I don't know if they had enough men on the line of scrimmage.
Illegal formation, offense, only 6 men on line of scrimmage. That penalty's declined. Result of the play, 1st down, Texas Tech.
So the mad scientist says, "Oh, forget about that. Let's take the ball and let's go to work. I don't care. Where are we here?" He's a beauty. He's one of our all-time favorites, folks. They had nobody in the game quite like Mike Leach. Every coach will tell you that. Every player will tell you that. And all he does is put tons and tons of points up on that scoreboard. Kind of a perfect fit, isn't it? Mike Leach here in Lubbock with Texas Tech. Yeah, it'd have to be a real good job to get him out of here.
This Texas defense has stepped up twice to force Graham Harrell to the sidelines. We'll see what happens here the third time.
Kendall's coming. And a perfect strike with a penalty flag thrown on the play as Lewis, the receiver,
time that umpire
Personal
throws
foul. Offense, number 65, hands to the face. Half the distance to the goal. Repeat, first down.
Vasquez.
it. Second time I think we've seen that call tonight. I told you there's a bit of a nasty streak on Texas Tech's offensive line. He's high. He's doing whatever it takes to keep Miller. That's a battle of a couple gladiators in there.
Got it, man. I think the coaches said we've had enough of Miller in that backfield.
Do whatever it takes, big fella. We don't want to see 99 anymore back there on our man 6.
Here's Woods. Made the most out of that, getting to the short sideline. Gideon bumps him out.
That speed and that quickness comes in handy. It looked like McElroy was able to penetrate and had a pretty good angle. It's going to be a loss, but he got around the corner and picked up a few.
I'll tell you who's been relatively quiet here this half is Crabtree. I remember him catching the one in center field.
Just in time for a jailbreak screen. He's all the way to the bottom.
There it is. You called it, Kirk. They put him over there, set it up perfectly.
Just kind of sneak him around. And I think the biggest difference with Mike Leach in the offense beyond the running game is how they're doing such a good job of moving Michael Crabtree around. And look at the effort in the blocks. That, to me, is the overlooked thing from Texas Tech. The other receivers that don't make a catch are so willing and almost excited to block for their teammate.
I'm going to tell you something. Sergio Kendall, number 2, is a big-time football player.
War Daddy.
He come play you now. He's standing over there on the right side of the defense. Number 2. Snaps off, incomplete.
This is a play that...
This is a big play in the game.
Huge play in the game, but this is a play to Texas Tech. This is backyard football for these guys. I mean, this is an easy place. Something they can do in their sleep. The ball perfectly thrown and a rare drop by Swindle. And Texas catches a break and the defense holds again.
Shipley trots back out there. That's another 3 and out here tonight. Hangs it high. Fair catch is going to be signaled by Shipley, and he makes it at the 42-yard line. Let us go to Matt Weiner for a Sports Center right now in New York. Matt.
Fred, Sports Center right now, powered by Vizio. And a check at the top of the BCS standings. You see what's happening to number 1 Texas. Number 2 Alabama had an easy non-conference win over Arkansas State. Penn State is off. They've got Iowa next week. Number 4 Oklahoma is having its biggest scoring day ever against Nebraska. Sam Bradford has 4 touchdown passes. It's a 62-21 lead and counting.
And McCoy hands off, and Whitaker has become the running back here for the Horns as they try to generate that running game. Now let's go back over to the sideline. Mike Leach brought the entire offense down, and he's on the inside.
Somewhere in the pile there.
He's talking to his offense right now. He knows they've got to generate something. They've had a couple of 3 and outs. There's a late pitch, out of bounds, Texas ball.
You got a tailback in the game right now that hasn't played a lot of football. Colt McCoy can't hang him out to dry like this. He stretches the play, and then dishes it. It's a mistake by a junior quarterback that's played a lot of football. You have an inexperienced running back. Very, very tough pitch relationship. Put a lot of pressure that time on Fozzie Whitaker.
It's a 3rd and 15. The Horns are without Cosby. Going deep, man covered, pushing, shoving, and there's your interference call. But who is this one on? The defensive back, Wall, went down as Buckner ran into him.
That's one of those,
Defense number 3. 15-yard penalty. Automatic first down.
Depending on when you looked at that, that could have gone either way. Buckner's a big physical receiver. He's a true freshman at 6'4". The best corner from Texas Tech. They're going back and forth. Almost every time this is going to be called on the defense. Almost every time.
The fellow who called it, I think, saw the right hand up on the jersey.
Yep.
And Buckner, meanwhile, was pounded. So that'll move it across midfield. 1st and 10 for McCoy. Here's complete to his roommate Shipley.
See what's happening with those safeties, and we'll show you here on the next play. Texas Tech has kept 2 safeties back, forcing Texas to go underneath with all of their throws. What's happening, all of a sudden there's about a minute to go. Watch the safeties. They've been back there the whole game. And what it does is it forces Colt to throw into this area right there. That's the only spot he has to throw the football, underneath.
Shipley can't get to the first down marker.
The reason that's so important, not only are they not able to generate any big plays, look at the clock. There's a minute to go here in the 3rd quarter.
Brian Duncan, their fine middle linebacker, making the stop that time. And 3rd down and 2. Texas only 2 of 10 tonight on 3rd downs. Stumbling toward it is McGee.
I'm really impressed with Colby Whitlock, sophomore from Noble, Oklahoma, a wrestler in high school, a great wrestler in high school, using his hands. He's got a motor. It's been nonstop this whole game. Texas comes up with a first down, but Whitlock represents the attitude that we've seen all night from Texas Tech up front. What a player.
Complete. And running for the end zone is Williams. Touchdown, Texas. Malcolm Williams. His 2nd touchdown of the season, a 37-yarder as the big fella broke free.
When you have those 2 safeties, Brent, you've got to make tackles. And we'll show you in a second how if you miss a tackle and you're a safety, there's nobody left.
They must go for 2 now. It's good to be that time.
Yes, it is.
Sometimes you don't like to chase it, but when they were down 16 for the 2nd time. Final seconds. Colt McCoy's first touchdown pass of the night, and here come the second half horns again. Penalty. There's a penalty thrown by the back judge. That's on Charbonnet. I think I read his lips. He said number 10, I think.
Pass interference. Defense number 10. Half the distance to the goal. Repeat the down.
Shipley gave a little move to the outside to set him up and then cut back towards the middle. I think everybody, there's a tip pass there.
That pass was tipped.
Tip pass means there cannot be pass interference.
Can they review that upstairs? I think that's what
every play should be reviewed.
That's what Mike is being saying. That
tip pass should negate any kind of pass interference. That ball is definitely tipped up front. They're going to pick up this flag.
The previous play is under further review.
So upstairs, our replay official is Terry Turlington.
Big
Here's
man
the
Whitlock.
deflection right here. Your man Whitlock
gets his big paw up there, deflects it, and if after that, all bets are off. It's a free ball, and it's not pass interference. Let's pick this flag up. Let's go back, Brent, to the touchdown where they're reviewing this. And a great play by Malcolm Williams, who has stepped up with Quan Cosby, who's down with the injury. Talked about the 2 safeties. Here are the safeties, and here's the route. Watch what happens on a simple, quick throw to the outside right there. You've got to make this tackle to be able to hold him, maybe even short of the first down. You miss one tackle, and that's what can happen, and that's how quickly it can happen. He comes up, has to make the play. McBath unable to make it, and the big fella, Malcolm Williams, goes in for the touchdown. But we'll have a 10-point game here.
Carl Richards.
After further review, the pass was tipped at the line of scrimmage. Therefore, there is no penalty for pass interference. The try is no good.
So it is a 10-point margin. 29-19. 12 ticks of the clock left here in the third quarter. And number 93, Colby Whitlock.
He's having a heck of a game. We just talked about him and his presence. He knew he could not get to Colt McCoy. So at 6'2", 285, he jumps up and knocks that ball down, or at least deflects it. Love those wrestlers that play on the defensive line. Great leverage, great hands.
Let's remember now, this game started with Whitlock tackling Obanaya in the end zone on their first snap for that safety. And now he deflects the ball on the two-point conversion. He's been in on several sacks here tonight.
Whitlock and Brandon Williams and McKenna Dixon. Boy, those guys have really played a heck of a game leading that defensive front.
But now, if you go over to Will Muschamp's defense in the second half, it has been far more effective against the Red Raiders. A 10-point game right now. Muschamp's defense will be going back to work here. Beautiful kickoff. It'll come out on the 20-yard line. So let's remind you again, Monday Night Football, the Steelers and the Redskins. Monday at 8:30. The Redskins playing much better than anybody expected under first-year head coach Jim Zorn. The Pittsburgh Steelers, of course, are one of the favorites to make it all the way to the Super Bowl. So that's your Monday night action. Mike Tirico and the gang will be along.
You talked about Will Muschamp and the adjustments. I told you I thought it was just the intensity that they're playing with, a little bit more intensity they're playing with. 3 possessions for Texas Tech, 3 punts.
Play fake, going down the middle, complete. Throws a strike to Adam James.
Hey!
And Adam James is Craig James's son, number 82. And I'm sure that it's a proud papa watching back in the studio as number 82 comes up with that catch.
What a thrill for Craig. I can only imagine what he's going through watching his son out here making plays. That's great.
He is the 9th different receiver to catch a pass tonight for Texas Tech. And ESPN Saturday Night Football presented by Southwest Airlines returns after the special season awards from ABC stations. Another 300-yard night for Graham Harrell. He got a 1st and 10 as we begin the fourth quarter. Texas Tech leading the number 1 team, the Texas Longhorns, by 10, 29-19. Middle to the 32-yard line, and it's Edward Britton, the receiver.
But Dion Beasley doesn't even get a hand on Britton to disrupt the timing between Harrell and Britton off the line of scrimmage. Plenty of time to throw the football, and because Beasley didn't slow down Britton at all, look at that, look how easy he gets off the line of scrimmage. If you're not going to press him and make him fight you to get downfield, Graham Harrell's going to find him very easily downfield for an easy throw.
And 34 more yards of offense. And there's the handoff to Batch. Muscles his way across the 30-yard line. Lisa Salter's telling us during that commercial that Coach Leach got the offense all around him and said, all right, now let's just not lose our composure,
right?
Stay together, and let's just score the next time we get the football.
Hey, why change the philosophy? I think that's great, and I think it's great that he was proactive. Still up 10, bring them together, maybe senses the momentum changing a bit. Let's bring the offense together and say, guys, hey, we've dominated this game. Let's go back to doing what we do best.
Inside handoff again to Batch. Melton making the stop, and we will take a look at the Pacific Life game summary, the comparison of our two Heisman Trophy candidates, McCoy against Harrell, and McCoy for 166 yards and that touchdown. 341 now for Harrell, one touchdown, and McCoy did score. I did throw a pick six. Charbonnet got him.
5 yards rushing for Colt McCoy. He is not only struggling throwing the football, has not been able to pick up valuable yards scrambling and coming up with the quarterback run.
Third and short, and timeout is called by Harrell. Didn't like that late move by the secondary. Clock was running down, and that leaves them with only one timeout here in the second half. Leach and the Raiders up by 10. Third down and 1 for the Red Raiders from the Horns' 25-yard line. Harrell throws for it to the 10-yard line. Put it back in Britton's hands.
They walk the linebacker up. Bobineau, they're expecting, normal teams like to run. Here's Bobineau. They're going to bring pressure, expecting the run. The receiver's going to come right in here. And look at how big of a window and how easy a throw that is for Graham Harrell. You bring pressure on 3rd and inches, and Graham Harrell's going to throw the football.
Now they come back with the run play with Woods spinning and twisting across the 10. And a reminder, of course, to stay tuned after this game for your late local news over most of these ABC stations. Over on ESPN, of course, SportsCenter will have more from game day here in Lubbock. And Bob Knight was a pretty good handicapper. Pretty good.
Did
on
he
that set, I thought he was really good.
Oh, we had fun. I'm just talking about the results.
No,
we had fun. That was great.
I noticed that he missed badly on the Purdue win over Michigan, refusing to pick Purdue in anything. Incomplete one at Crabtree on that quick slant that time. Curtis Brown, the defensive back.
When you defend Texas Tech by the end zone, the corner has to give him leverage to the inside. You've got to move to the inside to take away the easy throw and the quick slant, which Texas Tech does so well and so often once they get inside the 10-yard line. If you're a defensive back, move in about a yard or two to the inside to take that easy throw away.
Third and 7. Harrell in trouble suddenly. Not going away as Kendall came in and cleaned it up, but it was Miller and his buddies from that defensive front that allowed Kendall to come up and make a huge sack. And now Miller is slowed. He's down. They've already lost Arakpo.
They went right back to Crabtree on the slant, but this time Aaron Williams was looking up and double teaming and bracketing, which means taking the inside part of the route away, and that's exactly where Graham Harrell wanted to throw the football. He wanted to get it to the inside. And right here, look at this. Look at him try to take that inside route away. That time the corner had help to the inside, and eventually the pressure got to him.
Yeah, Henry Melton was among those in the defensive line, along with the fellow who's down, applying some heat, and Kendall. So let's take a look and see what happened to Miller on this play. That's Melton, number 37. Now you're watching 99, and now it'll be Kendall at the end.
He got caught up there in Kendall's legs. Even before that, it looked like he may have stepped on another foot. You know, this Texas defensive line is tired from chasing Graham Harrell around this whole game.
Well, there's been a minefield of a schedule so far for the Longhorns and Mack Brown. Oklahoma, that started the gauntlet for him. Then it was Missouri and Oklahoma State. Now they've come to Lubbock, and here's what they've got left. On November 8th, Baylor in Austin. Then on the 15th, they'll go to Lawrence to play Kansas, and then the rivalry game on the 27th. Texas A&M, I believe, had beaten them the last couple of years. So Matt Williams will attempt another one. Can he stay perfect? This will be his longest coming up. A 42-yarder. His first miss, it's blocked. And it'll be Longhorn football. Down by 10, 11-14.
Late flag comes in here, Brent. I mean, really late. Which means it's probably a dead ball personal foul. It's just a matter of which way is it going to go. Seesaw clapping. Maybe it's on Texas.
After the play ended, personal foul. Texas, half the distance to the goal. First down.
And when you're down 10 in the fourth quarter, Mack Brown is probably going to find somebody. He's going to find an official, but he's probably going to want to find the player who got caught up in that. It's the last thing that Mack Brown can afford right now. Now they've got to go 91 yards to come up with a touchdown, something that this offense has been able to do. They have 5 touchdown drives this year of 90 yards or longer.
The crowd alive in Lubbock. Got a man open. Got him. And in a foot race is Williams pulling away. They won't catch him. Touchdown, Texas. 91 yards. Williams' second touchdown of the night.
Huge play by Colt McCoy, showing patience, hanging in there, and how about Malcolm Williams stepping up with Quan Cosby down. He has stepped up 4 catches on the night for 182 yards.
Now Lawrence can make this a 3-point game, and he does exactly that. Colt McCoy is at it again. Already he has 6 fourth-quarter comebacks during his career. Will he have a 7th tonight? We're about to find out. (29-26) as Colt McCoy starts to come back in the second half, hitting Malcolm Williams, the redshirt freshman from Garland, Texas, with 2 touchdown passes. And that last 91-yarder makes McCoy Texas' all-time leader in passing yards. 11 minutes to go in Lubbock.
Brett, let's go back to this touchdown. It's one of the few times tonight that you see a corner who is not up at the line of scrimmage, but is going to drop. In this case, it's Brent Nickerson. Look at him dropping, and look at the little hesitation move. He'll go by him, and Nickerson steps up. Once he steps up, Malcolm Williams goes right by him. The protection is good. Colt McCoy has time. Nickerson doesn't have any chance at all. And look at the speed of the young freshman pulling away from Nickerson.
In high school at Garland, he was also a track man. And now it's up to Graham Harrell and the Red Raider attack to get something going. The Texas defense has played much better in the second half. Snared out of the air, snapped right down by Detron Lewis. He might be the next big thing here.
Mike Leach telling us this week that because of Michael Crabtree getting so much attention, Detron Lewis doesn't get as much recognition. Very elusive, phenomenal hands, and he's a big target, 210 pounds, close to 6'1".
Got away from Texas A&M, out of College Station, Texas. First down and 10. That screen pass to the wide receiver, and they bust it. Britton again, and he's been a big-timer here tonight.
Harrell's spreading the wealth. Crabtree right in the slot. He's not selfish. Look at the block. Also, the elf there, Eric Morris, picking up a block. Morris, Crabtree set it up, and a big run and great speed again from this offense. Boy, they come right back. They're not holding on to this lead, Brent. They're still attacking.
Britton has a 100-yard night. Now they come in with Batch on the running play. He breaks a tackle by Robinson. It's about 9 yards on it. Still, he's torn down, and now we're down to the 10-minute mark.
How often do you see a team that's on the verge of a big upset playing at home, and they've got a big lead, and all of a sudden that #1 team starts to come back, and what happens? They start to hold on. They start to work the clock. Texas Tech gets the ball back. The momentum is switched. What do? Let's get right back to doing what we do, and that's attacking this defense.
Ball was spotted back, make it 2nd and 3. And Woods now will make it 3rd and short.
It's like watching a different defensive front from the first half to the second half. What's amazing is they've had to fight through some injuries up there from 2 of their biggest leaders in Arakpo and now Roy Miller. Lewis has stepped up. We've seen Eddie Jones come in, Henry Melton, Lamar Houston. And they threw the last time here on 3rd and short.
This time they run Woods for the first down to the 32-yard line.
Texas had penetration. Melton right here looks like he has Woods, but Woods showing some determination and lower body strength, runs through the arm tackle there of Henry Melton, able to get upfield and get that first down.
There's that wide receiver screen again with Britton.
Just so much to defend. Of course, you have to defend sideline to sideline, but because you don't know when it's coming and who it's going to, Brent, you touched on how many different receivers he's thrown it to. What is it, 9 different receivers?
9 different receivers.
It makes it very, very tough.
Looks like we're going to have a Texas timeout.
Timeout, Texas.
Hope there's some young receivers tonight watching this Texas Tech offense and the effort that they're playing with.
Well, Mike Leach throws for a living. Other coaches do it for a hobby. First down and 10. The Red Raiders leading the Longhorns by 3, 29-26. Graham Harrell with a 400-yard night. Like movement in the middle, and there's the penalty flag. Here comes Woods.
Prior to the snap, ball start. Offense number 65. 5-yard penalty. Still first down.
Vasquez, one of the bodyguards for Graham Harrell. 30 of 43. His 5th 400-yard game of the season, but note that he's only thrown for 1 touchdown against the Horns here tonight.
How about a career against Texas? 519 yards, 466, and now this game is senior year.
First down and 15. Melton breaks free. Harrell fires a strike to the 15-yard line, and Britton again. He's their leading receiver tonight.
Brent, again, it's the Texas Tech wide receivers putting on just a clinic on how to work back to a quarterback when he starts to scramble. Just so well schooled in Britton. As Harrell starts to move, he comes back to the corner and able to allow Harrell to throw it down and away from the defender to give him a chance again to pick up with completion.
2nd and 4, and here's Woods. Short of the first down. Rory Miller back on the field. Good to see number 99 back out there making the stop. Arakpo has been lost for the night. Injured knee.
Going right back to that 3rd and 1 again for Texas Tech. One time they hit a quick slant to the bottom of the screen. The next time they went back and ran with Shannon Woods. Let's see what they do here on this 3rd and 1.
They're going to run for the 1st and 10. Batch pounds it to the 8, and it'll be 1st and goal for the Red Raiders.
But when Baron Batch comes in, nice change of pace from Shannon Woods, who's elusive and quick and can get to the outside. Baron Batch comes in and lowers his shoulder, and he's running right through a tackler.
They show blitz. High and incomplete. Crabtree.
I think Texas senses some urgency at this point with the ball inside the 10-yard line. They've got to get pressure on Harrell.
Is that a penalty flag that was thrown? We've had some late flags.
Pass interference. Offense, number 5. 15-yard penalty. Repeat 2nd down.
The big physical wide receiver.
Top of the screen. Boy, I don't know about that. You think?
And then the receiver slipped. Brown. There was contact initially. And the bad break on this was the fact that Brown, I think, then slipped down, and the officials saw him on the ground. So I think that along with that initial contact, I think it was unlucky on Crabtree's part.
I think there was contact on both sides there. But because Brown went down, maybe they felt that it was a bigger push by Crabtree.
1st and goal, but it's back at the 25-yard line. Fires in zone. And this time, not holding on is Lewis.
I'll tell you what, Earl Thomas, the freshman, he and Blake Gideon have been tested tonight. But Earl Thomas, who continues to improve and make plays, had tremendous closing speed, because I thought that ball might sneak in there and get to Lewis. I'll tell you what, Earl Thomas, last second, comes up and knocks that football away. Great play again by another freshman from Texas.
Second and goal. Harrell's going again, end zone, incomplete. He came right back to Lewis.
That's one Graham Harrell would love to have back. Middle of that defense opened up. He had exactly what he wanted. He had Lewis breaking to the middle. The linebackers are occupied. You see, Bobineau takes Woods. Look at the middle of that field. If he makes that catch, he's got a chance to get upfield. And if he can break a tackle from Gideon closing in on him, he might get into the end zone. One of the few passes that Harrell has missed. Huge 3rd down in this game, Brent.
Fires, almost intercepted. Almost picked off by Thomas.
He took a 97-mile-an-hour fastball off the chest there. I don't think he realized that that ball was getting to him until it actually bounced off of him at the last second. He went to make a play on the receiver, and then he realized the ball was overthrown to the smaller Eric Morris, and it hits him right in the chest. You talked about it at a break where you were talking. Will he go for it on 4th down, or will he kick a field goal after the last one got blocked?
No, they may go to the longer-legged kicker here. They may go to the left-footed youngster. He's a little bit longer. Here's Corona. And he nails it. They send Corona onto the field. He's been the kickoff man. He hits the long one, and it's 32-26. They lead it by 6. Reminder, folks, stay tuned after the game for your late local news over most of these ABC stations. And if you haven't had enough football, well, go on over to ESPN and catch up with the gang on SportsCenter. A 6-point Texas Tech lead, and the 2 Speed Demons are back deep for the Horns. Shipley, who has returned a punt, is on the left, and Williams, who just went 91 yards for his 2nd touchdown of the night, is over there on the right. Corona, who nailed that field goal, has the ball on the tee. And it'll come out on the 20-yard line. Let's take a look now at the ESPNU All-State Standings Review. Certainly this game is not over, but if you want to speculate, if the Longhorns lose, does Alabama automatically climb to number 1? Kirk, what's your feeling?
I think it depends on how voters look at this Texas Tech team, and also what Florida did today. Brent, I expect Florida to move up in a big way, but I think Alabama more than likely would secure that number 1 spot.
Yeah, the one you'd have to watch is Oklahoma.
Yeah.
They put 62-28
Yes,
on Nebraska. All right, 1st down and 10 now for Colt McCoy, trying to engineer still another 4th quarter comeback. Trails by 6, got plenty of time. Couple of timeouts remaining. 2nd down and 10. Went to Shipley and Duncan, the middle linebacker there.
Brian Duncan has been all over this football field, showing great instincts. You know, he played outside linebacker last year. Ruffin McNeil moved him to the middle. He's been stopping the run and playing the pass very well today.
Williams is far outside on the left. Inside shuttle pass. Whitaker.
These 2 teams have championships on their mind this season. Texas at number 1, Texas Tech at number 7. Both teams undefeated. Every championship team has a defining moment in their season. For both these teams, this is that point.
3rd down and 5. Got the 1st down. Collins, Brandon Collins.
I know Graham Harrell's had the bigger night, but how about the composure and poise on the road, trying to get his team back in the game from Colt McCoy. Big 3rd down. Obviously, they need to drive the length of the field for a touchdown. Comes up, makes a great throw.
Sharp, number 92, checks in late as the defensive rush man. They go back to the run. The speedster Whitaker breaks to the next level, and he is into Red Raider territory.
I talked earlier tonight about Fozzie Whitaker's speed being a difference in this game when Texas wants to run the football. Now we're starting to see just a little seam, and his health playing on this AstroTurf. What acceleration. We've not seen that from this Texas offense all year from a running back.
Complete. Shipley.
Well, all of a sudden there's tempo, there's a rhythm that we've come to expect from Colt McCoy. These last 2 possessions, this is Texas. This is Colt McCoy. This is what we expected to see this entire night. They've really changed the momentum here up front, and now they're the aggressor with the play calling.
McCoy going to take off. to the 25-yard line, and Duncan again.
Brian Duncan, talked about him a lot tonight, spying Colt McCoy. Ruffin McNeil telling us we cannot allow in big, crucial points in this game to allow Colt McCoy to scramble for yards. We'll have somebody constantly watching him when he takes off to run.
Ogbonnaya back into the game, and he appeared to have the first down. We'll see where the see if he gets the spot. It's going to be close.
It's right on the yellow line.
They'll bring the sticks out. And there goes the middle linebacker in pain, and we can ill afford to lose Duncan very long.
Cramping up, fourth quarter. It starts to always come into play for teams. Something, Brent, that we talked about. Texas Tech with a big lead used 2 of their timeouts when it seemed that they might be meaningless. Those 2 timeouts would come in handy if Texas ends up scoring a touchdown. There's Greg Davis
upstairs calling up the plays. Colt McCoy. He stood tough here tonight, folks. They pounded and pounded on him, and yet here he comes. Can't count the young man out. He's had 6 fourth-quarter wins already in comeback mode. He's looking for number 7.
And if you ask Colt McCoy after this game about the individual numbers with him compared to Graham Harrell, and if he's able to somehow get out of this game with a win, he could care less about those individual stats.
We've already had some wonderful images from the day. 2 fabulous finishes in the Big Ten Northwestern as the game was approaching overtime. An interception for the winning touchdown. Winning field goal for the Spartans. Florida crushing Georgia in Jacksonville. And Pittsburgh winning a 4 overtime thriller in South Bend against the Fighting Irish. And out in the rain in Berkeley, California beat Oregon, and now Cal will head down the coast to take on USC next Saturday.
Going into the loudest part of this stadium, right into the students.
Striking to Shipley underneath.
Well, all of a sudden, a lot of the plays that have been working in the past that have not worked tonight are starting to open up. The linebacker goes to the outside with Ogbonnaya. It opens up that huge void in this defense that has not been there most of this night, and a huge gain there on 1st and 10.
Greg Davis would like to take a little more time off the clock as he scores here. 2.5 minutes remaining. McCoy keeps it. Got the 1st and 10. Steps out of bounds. So it'll be 1st and goal for the Horns. Down 6. 2:29.
Colt McCoy reading the backside defensive end. Brandon Williams. We've not seen this at all tonight. He comes down, chases the back. Colt McCoy using his speed to get around Williams. Picks up that 1st down.
There's the inside handoff to Whitaker. Now it'll be 2nd down and goal.
Brent, I'm with you. If I'm Mac Brown, and this rhythm and this offense is clicking, you've got confidence that you're going to score a touchdown. You're going to hit that extra point. You're going to take that 1-point lead. Work the clock.
That's Dixon down. Texas Tech only 1 timeout remaining, but of course in the college game, 1st down stops the clock momentarily. And for the Longhorns, this is the 11th play of this drive coming up, and it has been a classic. So much at stake. McGee checks in as the running back. Gets the call, end zone, touchdown. An extra point away from coming back in dramatic fashion to take a lead with 1:29 remaining.
Boy, did this offensive line step up on this drive. Whether it was a run or it was a pass, they took control of the line of scrimmage for the first time, I think, the entire night, and it allowed Colt McCoy and his skill to do what they do best.
So it's up to Hunter Lawrence. There's the quarterback and the coach plotting what they're going to do. And they are down for the first time tonight, 33-32.
Wow, what a turnaround here. How about the blocking up front? A counter play, and look at the hole for Vondrell McGee to run right through. There's nobody there. Two offensive linemen, Hicks and Dockery, come around. They open that up. And I got to go back to Colt McCoy. I mean, Colt McCoy has been on the ropes all night. And look at him. He is willing his team to a victory here tonight. Now it's up to the defense to try to hold on.
And remember now, Red Raiders need a field goal. They had a 42-yarder kicked by Corona, who's been handling the kickoffs. They've got 1:29, and they've got that one timeout.
.129 for Mike Leach is like 5 or 6 minutes for most offenses. Plenty of time.
Justin Tucker will kick it off. Lewis is back deep along with Wall. They expect to return this. It's Wall, and he's coming out. 15. Alley in the middle. 30. 35, and run out of bounds at the 37 with 1:23. And that's a splendid return by Jamal Wall, the defensive back.
They opened up a nice seam and great acceleration. And now we just talked a lot about Colt McCoy. And now it goes back to Graham Harrell in our open, saying that here are two of the greatest quarterbacks in college football. Colt McCoy had his moment. He took advantage of it. Now it's back to number 6 in black, Graham Harrell, to see what he can do.
A lot of people said it might be the last quarterback with the ball. And Colt buries his head, and Graham Harrell will see what he can do. Snaps it off on first down, and that's the running back, Batch, who slips out. Clock continues to run. Did not get the first down.
One timeout. Texas wants to keep everything in front of them and try to prevent Texas Tech from getting out of bounds to stop the clock.
Final minute. There's that quick hitch over to the flanker for the 1st and 10. That's Lewis. Takes it to midfield now, and they're moving closer and closer to field goal range for Corona.
And the most important thing there is they pick up the first down. The game clock will stop, giving Graham Harrell enough time to get things set up here. They didn't have to waste a timeout.
Another 1st and 10, stopping the clock with Lewis's reception.
Again, almost impossible to stop this backside. He's thrown to his backside shoulder. The corner's going downfield, thinking the receiver's going to run down the sidelines. It's a timing pattern thrown to the back shoulder. Perfectly designed there by Texas Tech.
Harrell. And that's a 1st and 10. Caught by Britton.
Timing again. Harrell this time going to the other side. Brent, you've touched on Edward Britton tonight. What a big game he's had. If that ball is thrown late, it's an easy play for Beasley. It's thrown on time. Britton goes up in another big play.
Can't take a sack. Deflected, intercepted. Texas No, they rule it down. Incomplete. I thought for sure that he had deflected it to Gideon. There's 8 ticks of the clock left.
And Texas Tech needs to get organized here because the play clock has already started. The ball's up in the air. The true freshman, Blake Gideon. Brent comes underneath it. That's a drill that you work on all the time. It goes right through his arm.
I saw it at his legs, and I thought he'd had it.
Still 1 timeout left here for Texas Tech. 8 seconds.
Second down now. Deep strike. Got the big man. Crabtree pulls free. And touchdown. Red Raiders with a second to go. This is 28 yards. The fans have stormed the field. They're going to have to clear the field here. They're going to have to clear the field. They've got to get everybody off, and they're going to penalize Texas Tech.
Talk about chaos. Goalposts are down on one side of the field.
Yeah, the first thing they've got to do is review Crabtree on that far sideline.
Well, Brett, when you have the best receiver in college football going up against an inexperienced corner, you just throw it up and allow him to adjust and make the play, and the strength of his hands to get around Curtis Brown and into the end zone. He did not step out of bounds. And Harrell just put this up, relying on the best receiver in college football to make a play, and the strength of his hands. Big-time players make big plays in big games, and that's what Michael Crabtree just did.
After further review, the ruling on the field is confirmed. It's a touchdown.
And they're going to storm the field again. They got to get him off. This game's not over. Now, if they penalize the crowd for this, remember that kickoff. Okay, with Shipley and Williams back deep now. Clock is not going to move on an extra point.
Unsportsmanlike conduct by the offense. That penalty will be enforced on the kickoff.
Folks, that could be no small thing here now with what we've seen. Leach is getting ready to tell the kicker probably to squib it. Don't even think about those two guys back deep. Isn't that Trinity School in Texas that had 15 laterals? Isn't that close by here?
I believe so.
They may have to copy that play, the Horns, huh?
Yeah. It's the anniversary, too.
And here's Matt Williams.
I just got to go back and look at this, and let's all appreciate Michael Crabtree, covered by an inexperienced corner and Curtis Brown. The ball is just thrown up, and it's just, you're just asking Crabtree to make a play. Brown is lost in coverage. Crabtree adjusts and finds the ball. Can't get over his strength to be able to secure that football, walk into the end zone, and Colt McCoy says, I did about all I could do to try to win this game. And don't look now, my friend, but Oklahoma State and Mike Gundy come stumbling into town next week for a huge game.
I wouldn't describe them as stumbling.
Well, no, I'm saying, no.
With that additional unsportsmanlike conduct penalty, the kickoff will be from the 7.5-yard line.
Oh, hey, boys.
Maybe sprinting in is better.
There you go.
I think Oklahoma State is the real deal.
There's Mack and the coaches now.
Yeah,
making sure that
he's talking to him about a fair catch, saying, if I call a fair catch, that 1 second will not be taken away from me. They'll have one chance at a Hail Mary. That's what he's talking to the official about. Mac's out in the middle of the field right now talking to his kickoff return group saying, hey, if they don't squib it, call fair catch.
Well, of course, you can see where they're going to be kicking from, where they're lining up.
It's about to be. It's about
That's the crowd.
Are you kidding me? I mean, I'm so happy we're out here. Lisa, take cover, girl. Head to the truck. She's got to stay down there to talk to the winning coach.
There's 56,333 here tonight, folks. A new stadium record. And all fit. Well, the Horn fans aren't going to take the field, but the rest of them are here. Yeah. I'll tell you, if they don't have a miracle.
What a scene tonight in Lubbock.
Well,
as we head to Amarillo.
Yeah, Mike Leach over there, he might have a new favorite pirate, I'm reminded tonight, and that would be Captain Hook, as in Hook 'em Horns. Oh, yeah. Okay. So we got a 30-second timeout, and this has been an unbelievable football game here tonight between these two teams. You know, you had the start by the Red Raiders. It was great. Then you had the wonderful comeback by Colt McCoy. And then you had Graham Harrell, Michael Crabtree breaking back into the end zone. Just when I thought that Texas had intercepted the ball down here on that deflection.
Sure.
Yeah, he had a clean shot at it.
How about Blake Gideon? Oh, the true freshman. The ball goes up into the air like a feather. I mean, it's just coming right down, right into his hands, right through his hands. He'll have plenty of opportunities.
You can leave the game day set here for the Oklahoma State.
I think we might. I thought we were heading to Baton Rouge for Alabama and LSU, but
it's pretty good stuff for this guy. Now, my friend.
We may have to
go now.
Guns up 2 weeks in a row.
Corona, one of the few times you'll ever see a kickoff team starting from their own end zone, and Shipley certainly on the return team. And so let's see what Mike Leach wants Corona to do here. Squib it. Here comes the lateral. There's one. Intercepted. Texas Tech upsets the #1 team in the country. No more penalties for this crowd. They can storm the field. There's the symbol in Lubbock. Guns up. Let's go to Lisa with the quarterback.
Let's start with you first. Take me through that touchdown play, the game-winning play. What happened?
They try to man up Crab. There's not anyone in the country that can man up Crab. And I saw the guy wasn't looking. I threw it behind him where he didn't see the ball. Crab makes a play. He's the best in the country. There's no doubt about it.
What were you thinking when you looked up 129 left to go and you guys are down?
We're going to win the game. You know what I mean? You left us too much time. With this offense, we know we can score in a hurry. Minute 29 is way too much time for us, and I believe.
Thank you very much. Congratulations. Michael, same question. Describe that touchdown for me.
I can't hear you.
Describe that touchdown for me.
Oh, man. I don't want to say nothing, but I dreamed it the same way. It's crazy.
No, you did.
I dreamed in my head. I said, but you know how you do it every play you dream? But it really happened. So, I mean, it was great, man.
And when you looked up on the clock and saw 129 left and you were down, what were you thinking?
I was thinking we got to do our job. We got to go out there and score. If not, get in field goal range so we get Matt to kick it. But, I mean, I guess I took it in.
All right, thank you very much. Congratulations.
Lisa, our Chevrolet players of this game, no surprise, the two great quarterbacks who dueled it out here in Lubbock tonight. And in recognition of their efforts, Chevrolet will make a $1,000 contribution to each university's General Scholarship Fund. Folks, welcome to November.
Oh, that's great.
Texas Tech stuns the world, Kirk. 39-33. There will be a new #1 come Sunday afternoon. A reminder, next Saturday Night Football on ABC, presented by Southwest Airlines at 8 Eastern Time. It's been an instant classic. Thanks for watching ESPN on ABC. So long, everybody.